It's a really big podcast.
So big.
A podcast.
And a marvelous Maximum Monday to you, Chunkies. As you can hear, there's already something a little special provided for you here on this first Maximum Monday. What to expect today, and
What
for
to expect
today.
today?
Things like that.
Yeah.
How fun
Yeah.
are we having? How much fun are we having already?
How fun are we having?
How fun are we having? There's going to be a little bit of just an appreciation of Mini Monday, a celebration of Mini Monday,
Yeah.
which you can't really do in a mini way. It needs to be maximum. The way I would like to start the actual episode
Can it be by saying who you are?
is by I was going to do that
Okay. Yeah.
him
Okay.
time.
because I
give
had
him
realized
time
I
to
hadn't
check
said
it.
it yet. I'm
Yeah,
Carter.
And I am the largest Doge imaginable to celebrate Maximum Mini Monday.
And I am Jord Mungus.
Jord Mungus.
Isn't that one of the great old ones? If I comprehend Jord Mungus, my brain turns to goo.
Yeah, he's part of the final boss rush in Bloodborne.
Yeah.
You need the jellyfish ashes to defeat.
Elden Ring. That's Elden Ring, but it's okay. It's okay.
Well, okay, it's not the fake thing.
It's
that Throughout this episode, we're going to be doing What's in the Box. So I'll introduce that now.
Ooh.
What's in the Box is a fun thing that we get to do. No, I promise what's inside is not. If you haven't seen Seven, for the next 3 seconds, turn the volume all the way down. It's not Gwyneth Paltrow's head. Okay, you're back.
I don't think
okay.
anybody has ever listened to a movie podcast that has not seen Seven.
Yeah, well,
It's
maybe.
not- it is
we might
not-
find out.
It's not her head, but it is one of her nasty candles from Goop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of the scented, obviously. But before we do any of that, Doge,
Sure.
we're really leaning into our Discord during this episode in terms of these people that have, given us lots of money, and why not help them out a little bit? But we do want to have them involved to an extent. We did have a request, a very strong request, specifically for Doge when I had first introduced that we were doing Maximum Mini Monday. And that request was from, let me pull this up. I think it was Houston. Do we get to say their tags on here or not?
Yeah, sure.
It's
Houston
their
from
tags.
Houston?
Houston
Yeah.
from Houston, in all caps, said, "Please, for the love of all things, make Doge do a full-throated McGonagall impersonation.
Yeah.
Please,
am
I
gonna
beg
need that.
you, it's all I desire. There is no
know
dopamine
what?
hit quite like the mainline effect of Protect Your School in my ears." Doge, would you please do this for Houston?
Yeah, I'm going to need that.
Oh my goodness, guys, I just Googled it. She doesn't say protect your school.
What does she
Fine,
say?
that's a common movie thing.
Yeah, okay, it's a common movie thing.
What
It's
does she
Luke, I am
say?
your father all over again. She says, man the boundaries, protect us, do your duty to our school. And then she's like, I've always wanted to use that spell.
Yeah.
But no, the one I'm going to hit you with.
It's not Hello Clarice, right?
Yeah, sure. It's just a little, it goes a little something like this. Defend your school.
Yeah, that was very good.
I've always wanted to use that spell.
Oh.
It sort of turned into like a flirty schoolgirl thing there at the very end.
Do you know what? She is winking at the statues when she says that, and I think it's because she's into them.
She's into the statues.
I'm
Yeah.
That's why she wanted to use that spell. She's like, I don't care what you guys.
Yeah, they're probably
Come
the same
find
Might
me.
age.
just be crazy. So
Come find me after you defend this school.
Oh my goodness. That's the
we're gonna
band.
go McGonagall the way.
Oh my gosh, nighttime energy.
people are going to be like, dang,
nighttime
Maggie Smith.
energy. Guys, I have a specific Mini Monday quiz for you on this Maximum Monday.
Ooh.
Oh,
I went deep into the archives of Mini Monday, which has seen many, 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 many episodes.
and many episodes.
You're not. I hope you're not going to like ask us to guess what things happen in what episode. Because
No, not specifically.
Okay.
No, that would be fun, and I did toss that around in my noggin.
Ooh.
But one of the fun things that I found is within these first 10 episodes of Mini Monday, we had played 3 games that still are played today. Also, fun fact, in a mid-March episode in 2019, we talked about how Amazon would be doing a Lord of the Rings series. And here we sit in 2022 where it's about to happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
And we're all so excited about it.
What 3 games were introduced within the first 10? 3 games that stuck were introduced within the first 10 episodes. One of these was episode 1.
Wow. We work together and lock it in, right?
Yeah. I think that's right.
Let's do that. Yeah. A Star Was Born.
It's definitely A Star Was Born.
Star Was Born.
Lock that in.
Lock it in. I'm comfy with that.
Yeah.
Bing, 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 bing. A Star Was Born was played episode 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Extra credit, I believe.
Extra credit. Yeah.
You want to lock that in? Lock
Yeah.
it in. Lock in extra credit.
Ironically, bong bong. That's something we hear a lot doing extra
tracks
credit.
completely.
That did not happen within the first, though it does stay with us for a long time. You know, it's like
Interesting.
that friendship that you're like, we've only been friends for 3 years. Are you serious?
Do we have a Rumple? No, not Rumple.
I don't
Rumple
think
was
so.
later. That's a part of Gen 2.
I mean, what's in the box?
No
If we consider that a game, like a bit, like a recurring bit.
Yes or Pass, I think, is one.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
gotta be
Yes
there.
or Pass was a big one.
Yes or Pass.
Yes or Pass,
let's-
lock it
Let's
in.
lock that in.
Bong bong.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, what do we do on Mini Monday?
That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure what's in the box was an early ad.
Yeah, let's try it. Let's give it a
Because
shot.
it
What's
started
in the
with
box?
just essentially our Instagram.
You'll get 3
Yeah.
strikes. You've got 1 already?
we have 2 strikes
We have 2
already.
strikes.
Oh, you have 2 strikes already.
Let's do what's in the
Yeah.
box. I feel good about that.
So hang on. I just want to point out that we're about to lose a game about the games that we usually
hey,
lose.
Doge. Hey, Doge. Hey, Doge, real quick. Of course we are.
Yeah, that tracks. What's in the box? Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Bong bong. We will go into the box right after this little segment, but the other 2 were Rank You Very Much.
Oh,
Was introduced
wow.
within the first 10
That
episodes.
early.
And episode 1 was our first ever draft of Box Office Ball.
Oh, my
episode 1
goodness.
of Mini
Wow.
Monday was the introduction of the rules of and the draft
Wow.
of Box Office Ball, which we somehow managed to do in about 18 minutes.
what?
So Mini Mondays, you know, with inflation, the things
Sure.
things get bigger. That's in the name.
Wow.
So you got sometimes upwards of 30 minutes of show on a Mini Monday, but it's still only about 18 minutes of real content.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Absolutely. Let's go into the box here just a little bit for what's in the box. This question, this one's fun. This question for what's in the box comes from Cam Hayes 11. What's your favorite college memory? In what's in the box, they can ask us anything. Favorite college memory.
I'm ready, 100% ready.
Okay, go.
I know exactly what this is. And it's favorite is a weird thing because like I met my wife in college. Aw, so sweet. But a good college memory to share on this podcast that I don't think I've shared before is Carter, I'm pretty sure you were at our apartment and Jordan and I had just left campus to go meet you and some other friends there. And we decided to drive through McDonald's at night. Jordan, do you remember this
Yes, I
story?
remember this.
Can't believe I haven't told this on the show before.
It's a very good story.
Jordan and I have we've come off a long fraternity meeting. We were on like leadership on our fraternity, whatever. It
It was a
huge deal.
spring practice.
It's a huge deal. And it's a great honor. But we had just come off kind of a long meeting, a long rehearsal for this musical that we'd written that we were about to perform. And Jordan, we were just drained. We're like, I would love a 20-piece McNugget for $5. I've already eaten dinner, I think 2 times in this day already. But I'm 20, so I'm like, yeah, 20 more McNuggets, please. Thank you.
Still doesn't affect you yet, yeah.
I know. We drove through the drive-through, and I didn't want to order for both of us. Or maybe I wasn't getting it. Regardless, I don't know why Jordan was yelling across me to the drive-through speaker, but he absolutely was yelling across me because I remember I'm sitting in my chair, like white-knuckling the armrest, crying, laughing at him because Jordan got a little tongue tangled. And they rolled down the window like, welcome to McDonald's. It's 11 p.m. What would you like? And he screams across me, McNuggles. And she was like, I'm sorry, what? And he goes, 20. And she was like, 20 what? And he goes, 20 McNuggles, 20 McNuggles, McNuggles, 20-piece McNuggles. He just kept saying McNuggles over and over again to this.
It's like my brain broke, dude.
This poor woman working at McDonald's is like,
She
I
figured
guess
out
I
what
gotta,
was up.
Well, yeah. After you screamed McNuggles at her 6 times.
Yeah.
She's like, I guess I got to go cook this kid some McNuggles. I don't know. I think about that every time I see a McDonald's. Every single time.
Oh, man.
Goodness, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
You know, I also met my wife in college, but I feel like that's a lame answer.
That's not interesting to anybody.
There's a lot of really, really good ones. I have a lot of great friends and a lot of really, really good memories from college. Honorable mention would be when Carter found out that none of us had seen Silence of the Lambs, and he was just like, cancel Friday, I'm coming over. And we were like, okay. And then he made all of us watch Silence of the Lambs, which is beautiful. No, actually, it's weird. I'm a secret sap. You've probably figured that out if you've listened to the podcast. I'm deep down somewhere like a sappy, sentimental, nostalgic type person occasionally. Probably one of my favorite memories from college is after. It also revolves around Springsteen, as so many of our fondest memories do, because it was so much hard work together and a lot of like creativity.
If you're not in the know, I mean, I guess we've talked about it before on the show, but basically our college hosted a competition every year among Greek life of like writing and performing original musicals, which if you've listened to the show, you know that's like totally our wheelhouse. That's the way we love to be creative together, is like telling stories together and that kind of thing. So
we had a ton of fun with that.
Yeah.
The four of us, Adam was heavily involved in all that stuff too. And so it was just a ton of fun. But I remember one year we had our first loss in history, and we ended up finding out that it may have not been such a wholesome situation that caused us to lose. And I remember Doja and I like pacing furiously, and Carter called and was like, I'm coming over, chill. And Carter came over and we sat at a picnic table in our apartment complex, and he was just like, hey, he goes, guys, let it go. It doesn't matter. It was the best couple of months of college.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. It's fine. And I just remember being like, good talk down.
Yes.
Good talk down. And it was just such a sweet moment of like, from fury to like, well, you're right.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. Yeah.
I just remember that so fondly that I could see it in my head sitting at that picnic table.
That's very sweet. Mine are neither as sentimental or probably funny.
As long as we're in them, that's okay.
Yeah, as long as you probably are, and you'll have to tell me if you are. But my favorite memory is probably a running collection of things that I did, kind of themed here. But I am a big fan of just what I would call social experiments, of just using the environment and doing subverting expectations. I even teach it now, which is funny, and I use this as an example, but there's something called the expectations violations theory, to where a certain scenario or a certain environment, a certain relationship has told you that this won't happen, and it does, and it's how you cope with that. For me, it's a collection of destroying people's food without them anticipating it.
Yep. I'm a part of this memory.
Okay, so that's the thing. I did it a lot. And
I had a couple chicken sandwiches punched to death.
Yep.
How many McNuggles punched to death, though? That's the real question.
Not many McNuggles. So, I mean, mid-bite of a cookie or something, I'd just slap it out of your hand and who knows where it went and just try and keep walking. But little things like that were so fun because it lent itself to an environment that kind of allowed that. That was another special thing about college, I think, for all of us, especially with things like the Mini Monday theme song came around organically. I think one of the first nights that we were going, and we just harmonized, which kind of was our group of friends. You could have a 5-part harmony at any moment, and you just don't really get that anymore. So, yeah, thank you for that. Ask on what's in the box.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
That was a great question.
That made me feel like really nostalgic and warm inside now.
Isn't it special?
I feel old.
Yes, yeah. Back in the late 1900s, yeah.
Okay, so I have a few things here planned for us specifically. And again, these were things that were asked. Podcast villain Dill the Destroyer, his name is, I believe, in This Is My Brother-in-Law, Dillman, who really does sound like a Nickelodeon villain.
Yeah, I wouldn't even claim him, though, for all the
Roger
mean things he's done.
Dillman probably hung out with Roger Klotz. He wanted some hot takes.
Yeah.
He said, be thinking of some hot takes. And I have a couple. And I'll say my first. I think how I define a hot take when we talk about movies, these are the opinions that maybe are semi-countercultural.
Sure.
The kind of thing that you want to put your foot down. And again, this is in the spirit of, love what you love. We ask people to do that.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the best things, too, about this podcast is having strong opinions about things.
Yeah.
And I would say one of my hottest takes is I felt weird hearing everybody's opinion coming out of The Last Jedi when it was a movie that I genuinely very much enjoyed.
Yeah, that is.
I totally understand.
Hot take.
Hot take. Yeah, I totally understand everybody's argument that it didn't quite fit. It felt like its own standalone thing, and maybe in another universe, that's all it was. But
Star Wars fanfic. Yeah,
I had a lot of fun in that movie, and I would say The Last Jedi is in my top 4 of the Skywalker saga. Right there at number 4.
Yeah.
Which is way higher than a lot of people, I would assume.
Much higher than me.
So that's one of my hot takes. And then I'll let you guys have, let's share some of y'all's.
No, I also have 2, so this is good. We can go one at a time.
I have one, but I can think of another. I have lots of strong opinions that people don't agree with.
Do you want me to go first to give you time, or do you want to go next so you have even more time? So
I'll spend my known quantity and then search for the unknown quantity.
I love that about you.
My known hot take is that Avatar 2 is my most anticipated movie of 2022.
That's so stupid.
I kind of love it.
That's a terrible take. I love that.
So excited for this movie for a couple of reasons. Number one, as a tech demo, Avatar is unbelievably impressive. 2009, that CG is very good. And as a young boy,
that is wild.
Right. When that came out, I loved it. I was all over it. I was like, this is incredible. The strength of the story is non-existent. The CG is absolutely unbelievable and pioneered the past decade that we've enjoyed of cinematic stuff. Like Avengers Endgame, like one of my favorite movie experiences of all time, would not have been possible without the pioneering CG work of Avatar.
Sure. Yeah, that's valid.
Avatar 2 has been in gestation since 2010. We've been trying for 12 years to make this movie. I am so
classic Cameron.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that for a single second.
Because Disney bought it, and then Disney bought Fox, and they're like, surprised we got it anyway. But I'm kind of dispassionately interested in it on one side to be like, how are they going to convince people to care about Sam Worthington and Zoe Saldana's characters from
Neither
Avatar?
of whom I believe were in the trailer, by the way.
They were both in the trailer that nobody remembers. They were not in the trailer themselves, but their Na'vi forms were in the trailer.
Oh, I guess I forgot what Sam Worthington's Na'vi form looked like.
Yeah, no, Jake Sully and
Probably
Neytiri were
it's a
both.
bad movie.
It's a very impressive movie.
Yeah,
Jake Sully and Neytiri were both in the trailer. Nobody cares about them as characters. Nobody like, how are they going to sell Avatar: The Way of Water and then also tie it into the next 2 sequels that are planned and in production currently? And then there's the 2009 part of my brain that's like, dude, you loved this last time. Imagine what's going to happen now when it is like a James Cameron passion project. When James Cameron shows up in a major way.
Passion project, my behind.
I agree.
It is my most anticipated movie of 2022.
You know what else?
I think he's passionate about that paycheck.
I'm sure he is. And
he's passionate about water. And since this one has water in it.
Loves
my
water.
dude loves
big
water.
Yeah, big water fan. I don't completely retweet that. I think it is a hot take that's your most anticipated.
Yeah, that's
this is
wild.
a huge year for movies, and that's your most anticipated is.
I stand by it. I realize this about myself.
Here's an interesting thing outside of Titanic, which obviously grossing multiple. Cameron is big into multiple releases. He kind of feels like he wants to be in all the record books. But
sure, I think he's going to topple Endgame.
He does some of his best like movie work with sequels. Aliens. Judgment
Terminator
Day.
2.
Yeah. So maybe it's that sequel heat. I don't know. Give us a hot take, Jordan.
Yeah, I was trying to decide which one to start with. I'm going to start with this one. I don't think Tom Hanks is a very good actor. I think that he's had a couple good roles. And for the most part, just sort of plays charming and milquetoast.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to start with that one.
That's hot, dude. I'm feeling the heat right now.
And by the way, I like Tom Hanks a lot. I just don't think he's like a prestige actor that he gets lumped in with.
I mean, it's Keanu. Like, he is Tom Hanks every single time.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
He never does anything
that's not just Keanu on a screen.
I'm talking about Keanu never does anything that's not Keanu.
Right. Yes.
You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yes. Tom Hanks.
I think Tom is the same way.
Tom Hanks is a missile. When you point Tom Hanks in the right direction, he's going to fulfill that role because he's playing Tom Hanks. If you have him playing anything but Tom Hanks, the one time he does this is Forrest Gump, which is obviously amazing.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump is an incredible movie, and he delivers an unbelievable performance. I'm not saying he's not capable.
The Terminal's
of it.
good, but it's not even. It's not.
Yes.
It's
yeah. I think Tom Hanks.
Well, that is such a spicy
an
take.
Okay actor 90% of the time. And a great person and fun to watch 100% of the time.
My second hot take is a little bit diluted because it's one that I actually formulated on this podcast. Another shout out to what Two Chunks has done for me is just being in these conversations that other people get to hear. This is the kind of stuff that used to happen with us all of the time, to where I respect Doge and Jordan's opinion enough that it's not always that I'll kind of pick up something that they lay down, but it's kind of like I discover something because I'm with them. That's the power of like being in a group.
My mind changes live on this podcast constantly.
It was on this podcast that I discovered that I feel very similarly about Ben Affleck. That he's not a good actor. Now, he's a great Hollywood star.
Sure.
Yeah.
But he's not a good actor.
Yeah.
Right.
If he gets to be stoic and brooding, wonderful. Gone Girl's one of his best movies. All he has to do is be a tough read. Somebody wrote it for him. And if he just be himself, like in Boston, when he doesn't have to act like an actor and just naturally be what he was when he was 16, like in Good Will Hunting, great. Like in, what else was there? Oh,
sorry, I didn't understand, but I found something else. Do you want to know why you're hunting?
Yes.
On the website humansandnature.org, they say, there are probably as many reasons to hunt as there are hunters, but the core reasons can be reduced to 4. To experience nature as a participant, to feel an intimate, sensuous connection.
Are you going to get Most Dangerous Gamed right now?
Responsibility for one's food, and to acknowledge our kinship with wildlife.
See, they left out bloodlust.
Yeah.
And that's weird. That's usually the number one.
Unsatiable thirst for death.
Yeah. when the hunger overtakes a man, he must kill.
I know it's insatiable.
The town is what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Somehow. I don't even want to say it again because it was
Google.
scary. But yeah,
It's
Ben
very
Affleck
good.
is not a good actor.
Sure. Yeah, I think that is. I think that is totally valid. Yeah. And I think I agree. I think if outside of a select few roles, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Go ahead, Doge. Did you find another one?
Yeah, my final spicy one is one that we have arrived at as a podcast. So it's probably not spicy between the two of you guys, but I think if I said this to somebody who did not listen to our show, particularly this episode, they'd be like, you're the craziest person I've ever met. Regina George is a top 5 movie villain of all time.
Oh, yeah. That's
100%.
That's an easy cosign.
Sure. We all agree because we arrived at this together on our Mean
that's
Girls
true.
episode.
Yeah.
But like if I just met a random person on the street and, well, first of all, that's a wild thing to say to a stranger. But
What's up, man? I'm Doge, and I think Regina George is a top 5
I just need you to know what I think about Regina George.
It's very important to me that you understand this.
Yeah, no further elaboration required because you guys agree with me.
I have one more hot take.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, take me.
This was made for Jordan.
I've only done one. I got a second
Tom
one.
Hanks was your first one. It just flooded. It
Tom
flooded
Hanks was
my
my first
mind.
one.
It was
Felt
so
like
hot.
It was too hot amount of hot takes.
This one might be pretty hot as well.
Let me just say that I feel like something you love is blowing up people's spots with hot takes about things.
My sister says I like to throw grenades and watch people try and get out of the
That's
way.
an 8 on the Enneagram for all you Ennea heads out there.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably it.
In the conversation of greatest media, specifically movies for this for this context, I don't think most older films even have a place in the conversation anymore.
Whoa. Okay.
Wow.
I think that there are standouts that stand the test of time. And
Sure.
I think that there are a lot of older movies that deserve the credit for the boundaries that they pushed to allow us to have the movies that we have today. But I think a modern 7 is better than an old 10 90% of the time.
Interesting.
I think we have raised the bar so much in what we expect a movie to do, both visually and like narratively, that we have surpassed even the best attempts. There are like you look at something like a Ben-Hur where it's like so many extras, so much stuff happened, and it was this monumental task to make the movie.
Yeah.
And that is so impressive. And I would rather watch Transformers. Like it's just, I feel the same way about the Beatles. And this might be spicy too, where it's like,
I was just about to bring up the Beatles.
I love what you've done and that you have paved the way for me to get here. And now turn it off, please, because Dua Lipa's album from 2 years ago is better than anything they ever put out.
What do you define as old?
Wow.
I think that's an ever shifting thing, right? I'm saying
TCU?
as we...
I grew up with that.
I'm saying as we move forward,
Me too.
older stuff will naturally be worse. The best of the best stands the test of time. It has been made timeless.
Can
Like
I give
what?
you
Like name a old that's been made timeless.
Yeah, I mean, even looking back into like the 70s, you look at something like Star Wars that has withstood the test of time. It looks hokey and it's cheesy, but it is beloved because of those things. You know what I mean? But if you look back at, I mean, I would even say I have no reverence for Citizen Kane virtually whatsoever. I've never watched it all the way through. I plan to try. But I mean, like Prisoners beats that movie to a pulp in the middle of the street and leaves it begging for breath. Like it's not even close.
We are losing subscribers.
You asked for hot takes. I'm giving you hot takes.
That's a hot take.
We could
honestly, honest to God, look at me and tell me that you would rather watch Citizen Kane than Avengers Endgame.
Well,
I can't honestly
wouldn't
tell
you?
you that.
Wouldn't you rather read a comic book than the Bible?
No,
that's a lie. So can I do a little subtext here, like a little subheading?
Sure.
So I do think that there are some genres in the hot take that I agree with about what you've said here. It is the clumping of all of them.
It's all situational.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's how you make a hot take. It's all situational.
Some of the best comedy in movie history is long past, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and thrillers have been pretty on top most of the time. But we do have a very different
and best is quite subjective.
Sure.
Yeah,
in terms
I love
of like
that
how
take.
are we
I love
measuring
that take,
this?
You didn't ask for a calm, measured, nuanced
No, you said a
discussion.
hot
You asked
take.
for
I
a
love it.
hot take that's going to make Dillman either mad or go, thank you.
Yes, that is what Dillman said.
It's time to go back into the box. And this one comes from very simply Emma. She's kind of our kind of our prince of the Discord, the single name.
Jewel.
Madonna.
Absolutely. Emma asks, what's your favorite thing about each of the pod boys, including
I wanted
yourself?
it to end at what is your favorite thing?
Favorite thing about each of the pod boys, including yourself.
Wow. Man, my counselor would love to tune in.
Oh my goodness.
I'll start with my favorite thing about me.
Let's all go around and start there.
That's just really awkward. But I'm high off of counseling and learning how to be attuned to my own feelings and know about myself.
Sure.
I think I'm a good listener. One of my favorite things about Jordan, he has, I would say, of all of the people I know, and that's another favorite thing about me is I know a lot of people. Jordan has an enthusiasm that is incredibly contagious. In a wonderful way. I think about anything. I think I would be down to be introduced and trust him enough to be introduced to anything. Just before we started recording, he was telling me about a video. And there's something too about his enthusiasm for other people's things that they get excited about. It felt very pointed towards the things that I love. And I felt like he knew that quickly. So that's one of my favorite things about Jordan.
Sure.
My favorite thing about Doge right now, it changes, is like, I'm not going to say crippling, but like Doge has a genuine kindness that I think comes through on the pod most times. That is along with this desire for excellence. And so it's kind of this thing of like, I want to create something that everybody can enjoy together because I love them all. But I really want to make sure that everybody enjoys it. Which is so great and makes me so sad. I've never had anything that you've cooked, which feels like a surrogate for the things that I love about you. And so, I think
let's have to rectify
we'll
that
have
this
to
summer.
rectify it this summer. I think there's been situations before where Doge has to reveal something that's a very tiny thing to most people, but he bubble wraps it in a way of like, it's a tumor. Like you feel like that's what you might be hearing. when ultimately it's like, hey, the podcast is going to release late this week. But when by late, he means 12 hours.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, that feels super pointed.
I mean, it is.
Yeah,
There's
there's so many times where Doge is like,
guys, what I love about
it's going to be so
what
tough.
I love about you.
But like, I just wanted to I wanted you guys to hear it from me first and not find out somewhere else. But our audio is a little quiet this week.
Yeah. And then I listen to the podcast and like, okay.
Sounds normal to me.
Real ignorant.
I think my favorite thing about me is I think that I have a skill set that maybe not very many people have, which is to create something from nothing in situations. Like I get raised eyebrows a lot when I say that like one of my favorite activities is doing nothing with people, because I feel like you get to know them the best when you're just like
two chunks.
Sitting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I
Welcome
just
to this episode.
I just think that like pulling activity or conversation from thin air is like a skill set of mine. And
Yeah.
I really like that about myself.
I'll
because
retweet that. I agree with that.
It lets me, I just hit my
you
desk so
glad you lead the
hard.
Tuesday episodes.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest reliefs in the world.
Hey, after leading the Patreon bonus episodes, I'm so glad you guys do the Monday and the Tuesday. I hate being in that driver's seat.
Oh yeah, no, me too. I hate control and like all that stuff is no good. But okay, my favorite thing about Carter is Carter has a binding ability unlike anybody I've ever met. Carter has this unique ability to be like, you two are glued together because of me. You five are glued together because of me. And even if you're mad at each other, you will respect one another because you will hurt my feelings if you don't do that.
Yes.
And it's just like
Absolutely.
it's like this insane like glue of life that Carter has to just be able to be like, and I have chosen you, so you are stuck with me forever. And I love it. I love it. It's so good.
It's that inoculation to have me replace someone on this podcast. Sorry, it's in the contract. That's very nice, Jordan.
And then I think my favorite thing about Doge is the perfect creative partner.
Oh, yeah.
Because Doge, for all of his creative ability, desperately wants to, he doesn't, hitch his wagon sounds like he wants to ride on other people's tailcoats. Doge wants you to ride on his tailcoats is what it is. Like Doge is like, I'm about 90% of the way done with this idea. Do you want to do the last 10 and take all the credit for it? And it's like, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Like, don't you want some of the credit? He's like, no, just do the rest of it. Just write your name on the top and turn it in. I don't really want to talk about it with
I've made
anyone.
this dinosaur costume. You glue the tail on and go out there.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Hey, that
That
actually happened. That's
Spring
straight
sing.
up
How many times
happened.
we can talk about spring sing? Put enough monkeys in a room with enough typewriters, they're going to talk about spring sing eventually.
Yeah.
That's great.
My favorite thing about me this is the worst thing I've
I knew
ever
this
had
was
to do
gonna
on this
be.
I love that.
podcast.
I
Just
love
your
it.
tone
want you
and
guys
the
to know
pace,
that.
I was like, he hates this.
My favorite thing about me is I think in the discussions on this show, I think I'm good at stepping outside my stance and trying to find something a little more objective. I think I'm good, and you guys might disagree with this. I would love you to tell me if you do. I think I'm good at stepping out of the way that I feel about a movie and seeing like maybe somebody feels that it was supposed to be like this.
Yeah, I
or
would
maybe
say the
somebody
Fifth
is
Element
looking
probably
at this.
is a good example of that.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
The episode we relitigated because of your
Yeah.
staunch stance.
Yeah, I want to say words to you right now that I'm not allowed to say on a clean podcast.
No, I think you're mostly right.
That's great.
My favorite thing about Carter is that Carter knows when to fan the flame and when to douse the flame.
Yeah, that's true.
Really well. I think with me specifically, but like even in that story Jordan shared about college earlier, like Carter knew exactly to be like, hey, this isn't worth something getting worked up about.
Yeah, because he knew we would burn the school down if he was
Right.
if he
But
said
also-
the word.
But also, when Melissa allegedly yoinked our idea for Feliz Navidad,
TM.
yeah, Carter was very much like, no, we can't. I'm not going to pour water on this spark. I'm going to fan this flame. We have to follow this. We have to try and get in touch with her. I think Carter has a really good sense on at least on the show, on our energies and how to best direct and kind of shepherd those energies into making something that's a really, really good show and really true to who we are.
So you're saying I'm the gas, you're the brakes, and Carter is the foot.
I think so. He decides which one to push.
So good. Thank you.
My favorite thing about Jordan is that
Let's take an ad break. I'm kidding. That was the perfect. Okay.
That was very good.
Both on the show and in real life, Jordan is one of the few people willing to challenge me and not back down from challenging me. Because I'm a talker. I've done over 400 episodes of a little podcast you may have heard of called Two Chunks and a Hunk. And I can sort of talk my opinion into truth with most folks that I meet. I feel like you boys, Jordan in particular, I cannot talk my opinion into truth. Which is good sometimes and incredibly frustrating other times.
Sure.
But I think that helps me be better. I think that helps our show be better.
I am thankful for the combo.
We're so sweet.
And we talk about it every time, almost every time we record, but also especially when we have our like annual gettings together. Because I see a lot of the things that we said we liked about each other coming up within 10 minutes of us talking about planning a year for content we love and people we love, which is you chunkies. But I think one of the most special things about it is I never was afraid to repeat anything. And it didn't feel like anything was repetitive of like, well, I don't want to say the same thing for this other person. And that's just the cohesiveness there. I love it. Speaking of
these weird mini Monday type of things always get so sappy with the three of us. We're always it's always just like a full episode of us being like, I love you guys so much.
Isn't that the boiled down essence of our friendship though? Is like movies, silly, fart. But seriously, I would die for you guys.
But seriously, you need anything, I'll drop everything.
I
would light myself on fire to make sure your day was fine.
I'm going to go wipe my tears and we're going to have an ad break.
Yeah.
Great. Wipe them with money.
You made it. Checked out of office to check into the sweet views of this place where the kids aren't asking for the Wi-Fi.
Mom, can we go to the pool?
And when you're with Amex, it's not if it's going to happen, but when. American Express. Don't live life without it.
Boost your mood in New Jersey. Surprise yourself with new wonders. Stroll beaches and boardwalks. Discover places to dine and catch up with friends. See inspiring art, culture, and history too. Savor sea breezes and explore all the treasures nature has waiting for you. Rise to the call of adventure or catch a wave into the ocean blue. Find it all at visitnj.org.
Chunkies, welcome back to our Maximum Monday.
Welcome.
I am my heart is full.
Guys, I am loving
My heart
this,
is full.
by the way.
Good vibes.
When we suggested doing a Maximum Monday this week, there was a part of me that was like, that is just not going to be interesting or fun. I'm having a blast.
One of our requests that we had on our Discord, and let me, I threw my phone in exasperation because I was frustrated with my Wi-Fi. 1 second.
Frustrated. Take my Wi-Fi, please.
My Wi-Fi.
It's from a movie called Borat.
I do hate that, and that's not a hot take. I don't think anyone genuinely likes that character.
No, it's just sillies.
You know who does?
My wife.
My wife.
That's so frustrating. Okay. Another request that we had was to talk about how movies could have been better. This is something that we've done naturally on our podcast before. And I'm trying to find out who asked this here. A lot of Greek mythology requests. We won't really do that.
Oh, no, I got you, baby.
Okay, maybe it'll happen. Oh, I do have a quick one for you guys. I have a quick game. I asked our chunkies, and the first person to answer on Discord will be the number that we use. I want each of you to choose a number between 1 and 500. This will be the only game that you can actually win. The two of you can win today. Well, one of you will win. A number between 1 and 500. Go.
371.
12.
That's actually much closer than I thought it would be. The number is 173, which is near the center, but a bit, probably like 15 closer to Jordan. Jordan, congratulations. You're the winner of the very first Maximum Monday. What do you have to say for yourself?
I just I want to thank my wife.
I want to say, how did I not win if it was 173 and I said 371?
That is
I'm clearly reading the tea leaves. I just had the mug upside down.
That's pretty good.
I really want to use this, but if I don't find the person, it's going to be sad, isn't it? I need to find the person.
It was in that original thread that we did on Friday.
If it's not this person, then it's just a free shout out. I want to say it was B. Taylor.
It feels like it's got a B. Taylor heat on it, doesn't it?
I feel like it's B. Taylor.
Oh, yeah. I'd also love to hear some "This movie is terrible and here's how to fix it." Now, here's what I want to do. I think it's too easy to do that for us. I think it's too easy to pick a bad movie and make it better. So we're going to do a little bit of both. I want to start hot. We're coming in right now, and I want you to tell me, how could you make the hit $1.6 billion, the last time I checked, could be more, one of the highest grossing movies of all time, best thing to come out of Phase 4 MCU, No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home. How could you have made that movie better?
Release it in May of this year.
Ooh.
Do not release it last Christmas.
So
release Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness in that slot. Release this year, this May, to coincide with the 20th anniversary of Sam Raimi's 2002 Spider-Man.
Look at that. I love that.
And then we don't have to do the rewrites that we did to both Doctor Strange and No Way Home that made them, frankly, a little glonky to fix the fact that we had to shuffle their release order because of COVID.
I love that.
That might give us time to work on some of the kind of weird CG in the back half of No Way Home.
That's phenomenal. Well played. I think it even still works with the multiverse, with the access to the multiverse, because Doctor Strange has already had a lot of knowledge of the multiverse from the start, has he not?
Right. And it makes more sense when he says the multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little.
Phenomenal.
Because at that point, he knows nothing about it. He's not even been to the multiverses. But imagine if he's saying that after all his many adventures with America.
I love it. Well played, Jordan. How do you make No Way Home better?
Yeah, that's a tough question. It's a pretty dang good movie. I think for me, we might have focused a little too much on the sort of middle section where we're trying to figure out what's happening. And maybe if we could have streamlined our figure out what's happening moments so that we could get a little more to our denouement, perhaps, our climax, and spend a little more time there, I think the movie would have been paced just a smidge better. It does feel like it has a bit of a lull, like roughly 50 minutes in up until like, I've only seen it the one time, so stick with me here.
Yeah,
but like 50 minutes in up until like the hour 40 mark it's good, but it's just a little like, let's speed this up, get to some other stuff.
Yeah, totally agree.
Mine's pretty simple. It's just the order of a scene. Within that scene. So there is a moment to where we do get introduced to the other, it was all the hype. It's not nearly like the Professor X hype that was on Multiverse of Madness, because we heard him in the trailer, but there was a lot of people and leaks of like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to be in No Way Home. I think we should have seen Tobey's Spider-Man first. I understand semi-save the best for last, but if you had the theater experience, Andrew got a bigger ovation, which is great. There's something to me that felt more impactful for the confirmation that other Spideys would be there. Because by the time we see Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, we know Tobey will come. And then it's just like, oh, hey, old friend.
Yeah.
I think if we opened up the alleyway instead of this confused other Spider-Man that they think is Peter coming into the living room, it's just a guy walking and they have some kind of MJ.
Yeah.
And,
are you a cool youth pastor?
Like what's happening? And he just walks through and you're like, oh my God. That's Peter Parker. That's Tobey Maguire. And I don't know, because I think Andrew's going to have the heat regardless. He's had a great year. Tick, tick, boom.
Yeah.
He's kind of everywhere.
He has a big Gen Z following for his Spider-Man specifically.
Huge time.
Like he is a huge, like iconic Spider-Man for the Generation Z.
Yeah.
The next thing that I want to rewrite is an entire series. And here is exactly the kind of stuff that B. Taylor wanted.
Yeah.
One of my favorite series that we've ever done on this podcast is Twilight. Here's the thing. I had some energy here. I feel a massive energy coming from Doja's.
Yeah, I'm just going to let him take this.
I'm going to let him take it too. Dozier, how do you make Twilight better? Just try. Good luck.
Look at me. Look at me through Zoom.
Yeah.
Just like think about how long it's going to take you to describe this.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you. It's only like, I wrote it out on Google Docs. It's only like four
6
pages. paragraphs.
Give it to us.
It is actually. Okay, here's what's going on in Twilight. The movie's pretty similar. Bella moves to rural Washington, but from Seattle, not from Arizona. This is important later. With her father, doesn't know anyone, the mysterious Edward Cullen, a student at her high school. He's a year older than her in school, catches her eye. Bada bing, bada boom, he's a vampire. They're in love. Extremely important. In this version, there are no other Cullens. He's been on his own for 200 years. He has come to this high school within the last 3 years because he keeps having to move. He's staying ahead of something that's following him. 200 years ago, this movie takes place.
The people that make you graduate high school.
This movie takes place in 2006.
Okay.
200 years ago, 1806. Something traumatic happens to him. He won't talk about it. Her dad, Charlie, isn't psyched that they're together, repeatedly joking, Edward, I'm going to kill you if you ever touch my daughter. You know, the funny way that dads do. The climax of the movie is obviously prom. Ed's a junior, Bella's a sophomore. They go to prom together. They leave early, go out into the woods behind Bella's house to smooch. Charlie arrives at the dance. Charlie arrives at the dance to pick them up. He notices they aren't there. He goes to look for them behind the house. We're building the tension in this scene. Obviously, Charlie gets spooked by a bear or something. He's got his gun with him. We're watching. We're like, he's gonna kill Ed. He's been joking about this, but something bad is gonna happen. He finds them, and the music builds and swells, and he starts crying. Charlie says he's never seen Bella this happy. Seeing them together reminds him of what he threw away, what he messed up with Bella's mom. We're building to this happy ending. The music swells. Suddenly, bang! A shot cracks through the sky. Edward falls to the ground, bleeding from his chest. Charlie tries to help him. Edward screams, "Go!" Charlie ignores him. Charlie's doing CPR on Edward. Bella is in shock. Again, Edward screams, "Go!" Charlie ignores him, continues to try CPR. Another shot whizzes past their heads. Edward screams, "Go!" His face transforms like Bilbo into a vampire snarl with long fangs. And he says, "You have to run." Charlie is shaken, obeys. He looks like he's seen something like this before. Edward, normal face again, turns to Bella. "I will find you," he says. With inhuman speed, he vanishes into the woods, cut to black. That's Twilight.
Twilight, sure. Yeah, talk to me about New Moon.
Amazing.
There is no such thing as New Moon.
Good.
The next movie is called Twilight, The Order of Artemis. Just wait, guys. I'm like so legitimately psyched about this idea.
I can't explain how much I hate that name. It's
Twilight,
it's
The
so
Order
bad.
of Artemis. No, you guys aren't ready for the deep lore. It's been a year. No word from Edward. No idea who attacked him in the woods. Bella's just gone to junior prom with a new boy from her biology class. Say it with me, Jacob.
Yeah, sure.
It's summer now. It's summer now. They're going swimming as a group. Bella notices a tattoo on Jacob's chest, a bow and arrow, but the bow of the tattoo of bow and arrow is a crescent moon shape. What's that? Nothing. Jacob won't tell her. He drops her off at Charlie's house. We see a figure watching them from the woods. Waits for Jacob to leave. It's Ed, back again. They haven't seen each other in a year. He and Bella share a tearful reunion. He says, "I wanted to see you one last time."
Do they smooch? Hey, real quick, do they smooch though?
They do smooch.
Okay,
you
good.
know they'd be smooching. He says,
"Gotta check."
He says, "I wanted to see you one last time." And she says, "What do you mean one last time?" And he says, "Before it happens." And she says, "What are you talking about?" He won't tell her. He looks over his shoulder, hears snarling in the woods. "I've stayed too long," he says. "I love you for now and forever." He dashes off, leaving Bella alone. Uh-oh, Charlie was watching.
Charlie!
He sees Edward exhibit his superhuman speed again. That seems to confirm what he's been thinking this whole time. He calls Bella over. He says, "Bella, let's talk about that Cullen boy. We both know he's not like your other friends. Anna Kendrick, Jacob. He's different. I didn't want to believe it myself, but I just can't get that night out of my mind. You know the night. Last year. Reminds me of a story your mom used to tell."
And Bella's like, "Yeah, Dad, I know the night you're talking about for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the night my boyfriend got shot." Yeah.
So at this point, my summary gets a little info dumpy because I was running out of time. I sat down to start this 30 minutes before we started our recording, and then the muse alighted on my shoulder. And so I didn't have a lot of time to finish this. Charlie says, "Reminds me of a story your mom used to tell. She used to say that way back when the original explorers came through here, they sort of stirred some stuff up. They may have awoken some things. It's important to note Edward's been on his own for 200 years. Lewis and Clark explored Washington State in 1806, the fall of 1805, and the spring of 1806, 200 years before our story takes place in 2006. Charlie says, your mom said it's now our job as their descendants to kind of protect the natural world. Sort of maybe undo the damage they did. She was part of a team who wanted to set things right. So Bella spends this whole movie digging into her mom. Like, what the heck? Why do I live with dad now? What is mom's deal? Turns out mom was part of a group called the Order of Artemis, named after the goddess of the hunt and of wild animals in Greek myth. Yes. There's the Greek myth. Lewis and Clark, on their expedition, discovered a wellspring of power here in the Pacific Northwest. And it was guarded by servants of Erebus, the god of shadows in Greek myth.
Come on again.
To keep it from falling into the hands of men. It's too powerful. Being the good Christians that they were, Lewis and Clark slew the demons, the servants of Erebus, save one who escaped. This is Edward.
Phenomenal.
Edward got screwed on the
Real
name
quick, shout
front.
out to Martians Are Dope, who requested Doge break.
Yeah,
and
some
he
Greek
made
myth.
specific. No, he didn't make
I'm
it
into
specific.
it.
He said any of us could do it, but we all knew who he was talking to.
The unguarded wellspring proved too much of a temptation to the men, and they used its power to create the Lycaon, named after the first werewolf in Greek myth, to hunt the escaped servant of Erebus. They left some men from their expedition behind to oversee the Lycaon and called them the Order of Artemis. The Lycaon looked like men but could take the shape of wolves under the full moon. Artemis is also the goddess of the moon. They're identified by their traditional tattoo marking of a bow and an arrow with a crescent moon for the bow. This will be revealed over the course of the movie. The climax of the movie, basically, Edward came to tell Bella bye before he turns himself into the Order and the Lycaons. He figures if they kill him, it will keep Bella safe. The hunt will be over. She will be free. Her story in the movie is trying to stop this sacrifice from taking place. I'm thinking it would be pretty Romeo and Juliet-y, kind of like a poetic tragedy, to have her be the one who gets killed at the end of the movie. Maybe she can take Edward's place somehow. I want you guys to help me write this. And the third and final movie of this, I would love it to be a Orpheus and Eurydice type thing where Edward, where a servant of Erebus and a Lycaon, according
goes into
to prophecy,
the underworld to bring
have
Bella
to
back.
descend into the underworld to save Bella. So Edward and Jacob have to team up to save Bella. And guess who tells them how to save her? It's Bella's mom, Leda Swan, current leader of the Order of Artemis and the Archmistress of the Hunt.
Oh my gosh.
And then Link.
Boys,
and then
tell me
Link
that you
comes
wouldn't
in and
watch
plays
this.
I would,
Twilight.
but you changed? It's fine. You got to rewrite it to make it better for you.
Listen, it's a supernatural romance story.
So we still have
and
the
that's
romance.
clearly what we tried to do.
Still have the romance.
And at the end, we have all this weird like fantasy war with the Volturi and like all that stuff. Like there's a way cleaner way to do a big weird fantasy war that doesn't end with, oops, the battle was all a dream.
That's true.
My only change was going to be to make everybody say Bella's name like Bella.
Yeah, same.
And then
Bella.
that's
We have
the
change.
same one.
It makes
Yeah.
the movie better.
Yeah, that's
Mike
true.
the Nerd asks, Doge, that's brilliant. Mike the Nerd asks, who is your go-to character in Smash Brothers? I'll go first because I don't have one because I am a wild card. These guys tell me I'm above average. I don't believe that. But
No, you are.
I play with like Rob and Duck Hunt and
You make me so angry when you do that.
yeah. I'm an absolute wild card. You might as well be hitting random on that collection of characters on that.
We actually had to do that for a while in college.
Yeah, we did. Because we got too mad at each
intense
other.
If we got to pick our own characters.
I'm lately a Toon Link boy.
Oh.
It sort of changes. I mean, it definitely changes with every release.
Hit him with that
but-
poop sword.
With the poop sword, baby. It's that aerial down attack where he just does a poop sword.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the go-to move for me.
Yeah, it's going to be a Roy's our boy for this guy.
Hearing you say that you would like to play as Roy elicited like a visceral reaction in me. Where it's like, I hate it when he's Roy. This is why we have to play on random.
Yeah, you're going to get side aid into oblivion, my man.
And I'm gonna throw the controller. I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah.
We've got another request from Houston, but this one involves you, Jordan. Do you have a game for me to play?
I do.
With my good friend.
I do. And what a perfect way to kind of close out our time, too. I think it's poetic in sort of a sweet, saccharine sort of way. We're going to play extra credit.
You've hosted once before, right?
I have.
Mm-mm.
I have.
You have?
I have, yep. There's been one extra credit time that Jordan didn't play. And the record is 0 when Jordan's not playing. So just want to point that out. Just anyway...
Not much higher than 0 when Jordan is playing.
That's true. As we are sort of summoning the ghosts of Mini Mondays past, I thought long and hard about what movie have we reviewed with the deepest possible extra credit pool for you to choose from. Because I thought about hand selecting your actors, but that didn't feel fair. It felt like like it is more fun. I thought about making it Taylor Lautner, Betty White, and like somebody else that you guys collectively don't like.
We could get Lautner for sure. We had a series of the only things he did.
For sure.
Totally.
You didn't hear what I said.
The movie that you will be selecting from is, I would argue, one of the best ensemble casts of all time. It is the heistiest heist. It is Ocean's 11.
Ooh.
The movie, it is the Kevin Bacon of the movie game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's what I think we should do first. Okay? I don't think any of these people will have Ocean's 11 in their top 4. If there's one thing I've kind of learned, and you have to use kinda because the IMDb algorithm is beautiful and strange and hard to grasp.
We're imposing order on chaos.
Is if a lot of people are involved, there is not a big enough piece of the pie to make your top 4.
Right.
I think what's funny is y'all have done Matt Damon several times, and I can't remember all of the credits.
Welcome to it.
I'm actually pretty sure Matt Damon was in y'all's last time that you did this too.
We won't do that.
To remind listeners, just in case there's a forget me, they get is it four actors, 3 actors, 3 actors?
3.
They get 3 actors to guess their IMDb top 4 based on the IMDb unknowable algorithm. Every correct movie is 1 point. Any perfect actor is 5 points.
You get an extra credit.
And you want to hit 9 points to win. 9 or above.
Do you think we can swing at Clooney first?
Wow, that's really hard. I'll swing at Clooney if we can remember right now what he won an Oscar for or what he was nominated for. It's something like Syria. What's the name of the movie that he did?
Oh, gosh.
Where he's a reporter? Because I think that's there.
You do?
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Oh, I don't know. I'm happy to start with somebody else if we want
Let's
to.
start with somebody else.
I am by no means attached to Clooney, except as Batman.
Is there too much Pitt to do that one? Does Pitt just have too much?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I mean, we got to start at some point.
Pitt.
We just got to pick a boy and do him, yeah.
I'd love it. Yeah.
And I feel like getting Academy Awards is huge. I think the last time y'all might have played with Brad Pitt was before he did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and actually won an Oscar. So I think I would be bamboozled, which this game does that, if Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is not in his top 4. But I would be remiss to not at least one of the 4 guesses be that.
Let's try it. Let's try Once Upon a Time, because I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, lock it in.
Bong Bong.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, that tracks completely. Hey, you know what I do think is in there? You know what I do think is in there, weirdly enough? Troy.
Oh, gross. You want to do that one now?
I do think Troy is in his top 4.
We're not doing that now. We got to do Fight Club first.
Okay, let's do Fight Club and then Inglourious Bastards.
Oof.
And then our last guess.
We can't just name them all. Okay, Fight Club, lock it in.
Yeah, lock it in.
Bong Bong.
Oh my God. Ew.
Carter, I've swam these waters before.
I'd rather go in 0-4. You do Troy, but I get to do Meet Joe Black.
Do you think Inglourious is in there?
I don't even care. I'm already apathetic. I think, do you really want to do Troy?
I do, man. I just have this heat about it.
I'll lock it in with you, dude.
Because the fact that you have trepidation about it means that I think it's probably in the algorithm. The algorithm's like, nobody would love to see this there. So I'm going to do it. Inglourious Bastards. I'm locking that in.
Are you still going to do Troy after that?
No, we don't have to do Troy. If you're not on board, I don't want to do Troy.
All right, I'll lock in Inglourious Bastards.
That's both of you locked in?
Yeah.
Bong Bong.
IMDb's like, wait, who's Brad Pitt?
Yeah. Meet Joe Black. Lock it in. Watch.
Lock it in.
Okay, that's a double lock in.
Meet Joe Black.
Meet Joe Black. A bong. Bong.
Yeah. Read them to us, my friend.
Brad Pitt's top 4. You are not going to be happy.
Is Troy in his top 4?
No, definitely not.
Ad Astra.
No, yeah. So Ad Astra, number 1.
Number
1 Ad Astra is. Number 2, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Number 3, guys, Moneyball.
Oh, duh.
Oh, man.
And then number 4, 12 Monkeys. Interesting choice.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
This is a fun game. Ooh. This is a fun game. Let's do.
Do you think? Hang on.
Grace is in that movie.
He is.
Do we think we could get a Casey Affleck?
He's also there.
Because I think we could get a Casey.
Someone has to be perfect. I don't think. Okay, so Jesse James, right? He's in that.
Yeah.
Manchester by the Sea.
Manchester.
Interstellar.
Yeah. Good.
That's too big of a movie.
No.
I don't think he's in I don't think he's going to be.
Do you think Good Will Hunting would be up there for him?
It should. I don't know.
Okay, if Casey's too hard, we could do somebody else.
I don't know. I was trying to think Julia Roberts, but hers feel like too many little rom-coms are going to be in there and it's going to confuse us. I know Pretty Woman will be there for sure, but from there, probably Erin Brockovich. She won an Oscar for that, but that didn't work for.
Yeah,
that didn't work for Brad.
For Pitt. Damon. We've tried Damon. I have guessed movies for Damon more times than I've seen my own reflection, and I never get him
so we're not doing that. Don Cheadle is random. Could we do that?
Yeah, we could give Don Cheadle a
Hotel
shot.
Rwanda.
Bonnie Rabo, Trouble.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
So bad.
All right, let's do Casey. I'm ready.
You guys could do Rusty Myers, who plays security officer number 1.
Oh,
Just giving you some ideas.
I don't know if you know this, but I built an entire Rusty Myers fan site on WordPress.
Yeah. Lusty for Rusty.
Let's do Casey.
Okay, Casey Affleck.
Let me pull up the youngest Fleck. All right. Ready to go. Ready when you are.
Manchester by the
Sea. Lock it in.
Y'all are so in sync on that. And that's probably why it's a bing, 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 bing.
What number?
Number 2.
The anxiety of the lead up to the reveal of Bing Bing or Bong Bong is pretty rough. I apologize.
Oh, yeah. No.
The frequency of this game in some years is pretty cruel.
Yeah.
The assassination of Jesse James.
Jesse James Magic Hour from. Yep.
Is that what I sounded like?
The kind of Jesse James.
Because my Wi-Fi's
No, I'm just saying it's the longest title of all time.
The if we're close enough, I would count it as host. You're hosting now.
Yeah, of course I'll count it.
Can we just call it Jesse James?
The assassination of Jesse James by the poet laureate Bronte.
Yeah. Jesse James' big day. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
That's a bing bing. Cheers. My boys. That's number 3 for Casey. Number 3 for Casey.
My dude, if they've done a Nolan, it's usually in their top.
You think so? You think Interstellar's in there?
I
Just
do.
playing a grown child for 5 minutes.
No pressure.
Everybody's always playing a grown child.
No pressure, but just a reminder that you do have to get both perfect because it's impossible to get 9 with 0 on your first actor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We royally blew it, did we not?
Yeah. We
Not
beefed
yet.
it on Brad.
Not yet.
Can I tell you what I think it is?
Huh.
I do think it's Interstellar and Good Will Hunting for his last 2. Because that's a mix of modern and vintage Casey.
You think they're trying to make a perfect meal over on IMDb?
No, they're definitely not.
I trust you, dude. It's all I can do. You've been here.
Let's try Interstellar.
Show me the way, Tumnus. How do I get around in this place? Interstellar, lock it in.
Lock it in.
Interstellar, Casey Affleck, bong.
Yep.
Bong.
Yep.
Good Will Hunting? Lock it in.
Let's try it. Lock it in.
Is that a lock in from both of you?
Mm-hmm.
Good Will Hunting, bong.
So number 1 and number
that's
4
a bong
we did
bong.
not get.
That's a bong bong.
Tell us.
Casey.
Number 1, Gone Baby Gone.
Oh, dude, my bad. Should have got that.
Number 2, Manchester by the Sea. Number 3, The Assassination of Jesse James by the poet laureate Nobel Prize winner Robert Ford. And number
By Robert
4,
Frost, 2 paths diverged in a wood. He took the one less travel where he killed Jesse James.
Number 4, and if you guys want to pop your headphones out so this one doesn't hurt, that is okay. It is Ocean's 11.
Phenomenal. I love that. Look at it. You remember how I started this whole thing? We're going to do Julia Roberts for 500 points.
Okay. Can I tell you, can I run you through George Clooney's top 4 if you're going to do Julia Roberts, just so you can see how marooned you would have been on that one as well, probably?
Yeah.
They're all movies you've heard of.
Up in the Air.
Yeah.
The Oscar one that's just like one word, Syria or something. I can't remember what it's called. Okay.
Not there.
Didn't go.
Ides of March.
Ides of March is there. Good Night and Good Luck and Michael Clayton round out George Clooney's top 4.
Yeah.
You know those
Wow,
two
George.
good movies that George is really, really known for?
Wow, George.
Gag. Julia Roberts, Pretty Woman, lock it in.
Yeah. Lock it in.
Bing Bing, number 1. Pretty Woman, obvs.
Aaron Brockovich, lock it in.
Aaron Brockovich, lock it in.
Bing Bing, number 2.
Okay.
Quick, name 2 rom-coms she's been in.
Ooh, did she do that one?
Oh. You burped it. Whatever it was, you burped it. You said,
Runaway Bride. Lock it in.
Sure. Yeah, I'll co-sign.
Bong Bong.
She might not even been in the movie, dude. I'm gonna be
I
honest.
think she
you
was.
think-
I do believe she
Book
is
not
in
there,
that movie.
Doge.
I was going to say,
I
do
know
you
that.
think?
It's not?
Do you? But hang on. Really think about it.
In the spirit of my lovely co-hosts, I'm gonna say Shrek 2, lock it in.
Oh,
Yeah.
what joy fills my heart. No, of course not. Bong Bong, but I love it so much. No, Julia Roberts is Pretty Woman, number 1. Number 2, Aaron Brockovich. Number 3, Closer or Closer. One of the two, not sure. And then number 4, My Best Friend's Wedding.
My best friend's wedding. I knew it had something to do with the wedding. Guys, to end this
Always.
wonderful Maximum Monday that we've had, we're going to end on a question from Riley, who asks, what's the end credit song to your movie? To the movie that is your life? What song is playing on the end credits?
I actually have thought about this before, and I do have an answer locked and loaded. I'm gonna do a bit of Googling and see how much of these songs we could legally play.
Just stack them all on top of each other.
Yeah, make one the ultimate in credits song.
I need to make sure that I have the right song. 1 second. I know what I want, but I can't remember the title.
Is it Don't Stop or Don't Start Believing?
Ew. Okay.
I do want to miss a thing. Wait, no.
Wait, no. I don't want to miss nothing. Well, I do want to miss something.
I ain't want to miss even once.
I ain't not gonna miss that.
I ain't never tried to miss even one time. So don't let nobody
wanna
convince you.
dream of you.
The sweetest thing I'll never do.
I still
because I
miss you, baby. And I ain't gonna miss no thing.
Okay. My song, I'm Carter.
Even one time.
Credit scroll, and you hear James
Yeah.
Taylor's Sun on the Moon.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
It starts with
That's the one
this
that's like,
wonderful choir
"Gravity."
hit, and then it's just this fun,
Yeah.
it feels like they wrote it improvisationally. But it was one of my favorite
Yes.
songs when I was a kid because it just hit me in a certain way. Sun on the Moon would be...
Have we talked about how much we both love James
yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sure we have. Yes.
Very good.
like
On his
James
album,
Taylor.
Never Die Young. I believe it was 88. Yeah, wow. 1988.
Ooh. I'm Doge. Very similar vein. The closing credits song for My Life is the opening track of Dan Fogelberg's 1974 album Souvenirs called Part of the Plan.
Oh, how fun is that?
I'm Jordan.
These are not, by the way, I'm sorry, I hate to cut you off. These are, Carter, so far you and I have not given answers anybody outside of the two of us are interested in at all. This is not what
People that
Riley
know us
wanted to
will
hear.
Pretty
Yes,
sure I'm
this
about to
question.
round it out. Pretty sure I'm about to round it out in a similar vein, so don't even trip. Because I also have known mine since we asked the question. I'm Jordan, and obviously it is. Yes. Yeah. Simple plan. No, it's Kyrie by Mr. And I didn't even have to think about it for a second.
This only helps our brand.
Yes. Our brand of three old dads have a podcast.
Now, Kyrie by Mr. is one of my top. That between that and Man in Motion love theme from St. Elmo's Fire, written by David Foster Wallace.
Yeah, he did a bunch of stuff.
No, that's
You
not
always
it.
can assume that. That's like the
Pretty sure
Meryl
it is.
Streep in Trivial Pursuit. You know, it's like, yeah.
Pretty sure it is him.
Pretty sure it was her.
John Parr.
Yeah, but David Foster Wallace wrote it. I'm about 90% positive.
Hot take.
That song slaps. So, but yeah, it's Kyrie by Mr.
Yeah, and
We are three old dads trapped in young man's bodies.
Always have been, always will be, I think.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Well,
thanks, Discord.
bye.
Thanks, Discord.
Thanks,
that was
Discord.
in the box. And that's what's in the box.
What's in the box? Okay. Wah.
When you're up in your sprayer, remember to look ahead into the future. Because if you've made the smart decision to plant Enlist E3 soybeans, now's the time to protect them with Enlist herbicides. The superior tank mix flexibility easily allows multiple sites of action and keeps your weed control programs effective beyond just this season. Visit Enlist.com to see how a better weed control system can help fight resistance on your fields today and tomorrow.